It's not often that you get to see the whole Democrat playbook for the 2028 midterm strategy. Well, in this instance, I'm going to break it down for you, and I got news for you. If they take control of the Senate, of the House, and the 28 presidency, this country will never look the same. In this instance, this is a story from James Carville, who's been extremely involved with the strategy of the Democrats going back to the 80s and before. Well, he let the cat out of the bag, and I'm going to play a clip so that you can just see how nefarious what they're planning will be and where this country just will never, ever be the same. This also brings to light the recent messaging of Donald Trump to the Senate, specifically John Thune, to terminate the filibuster and why it's critical that we do so to get the Save America Act through the Senate. Because if we don't, this will be our future. Have a listen.
Expand the Supreme Court to 13. Eat our dust. The only way to fight this is don't run on it, don't talk about it, just do it. Just, okay, we got 54 senators and we got 13 court members. Thank you, goodbye. Because you're not going to get a fair shake any kind of way in this system. 18% of the United States elects 52 senators. Well, you're not going to make it equitable, but you'll make it better by adding Puerto Rico and D.C.
Right. So just blow up the country. The exact thing that was too radical.
Unbelievable.
Now it's fundamental to a traditional Democrat prior to this, like James Carville, if they get the House, Senate, and presidency. That's what's at stake. Truth Social is where we found Donald Trump's opinion on this. He says this: wacko James Carville, a so-called Democratic strategist, wants the Dems to make DC and Puerto Rico states, and most importantly, pack the Supreme Court, putting 13 justices on the court. Other Dems want 21 justices. If they pull off adding these two states, this country is destroying sleaze bags will dominate politics in America if we even have a nation left for over 100 years. Terminate the filibusters. They're already doing great with the Supreme Court. However, the Democrat justices stick together like glue, totally loyal to the people and ideology that got them there. They are unmovable, and there is nothing that can be done to change that. Frankly, I respect that a lot. But, for the most part, it's a conservative court. There were different times.
So again, when you listen to what James Carville said, they want to create two new states, the District of Columbia into a state, and now Puerto Rico. They want to, of course, they've already admitted this, pack the Supreme Court. So they want to, again, completely change the whole demographic of Congress. We also know, and they've already admitted this, and this is our plea to John Thune in the Senate, that the Democrats want to terminate the filibuster. They'll do that as soon as they gain control. So what is holding John Thune up in the Senate of using this for something as critical as the Save America Act? It makes no sense other than the fact that John Thune is captured by the Uniparty, right? The Uniparty, we have Democrats and Republicans, or so we think, but we really have this massive group in the middle that will do everything they can to go against their constituents and the people that put them in D.C., and instead do everything they can to protect the interests of the agencies, of the dark money, and of their own skin. Because Leader Thune knows this well, that he could use this for fundraising. And you're going to say, gosh, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't he get more funds if he just did what the people wanted him to do? Because the avenues that the dark money moves, they want to protect their interests, right? They don't want, this again might be contra-logic, they don't want something as basic as the Save America Act in, because they don't want to respect your vote or the integrity of my vote. They want to be able to import their voting demographic at will, to put them on our social services programs, and then they have a captured electorate. They don't want people to think for themselves or to be patriotic in their vote. They'd rather just open up the borders and bring their electorate in. And that includes John Thune and every one of the rhinos who's getting in the way of the filibuster attempts and getting in the way of the Save America Act. So going back to the beginning of this story, James Carville, what he says, you better pay attention to, because that's exactly what Hakeem Jeffries, what Nancy Pelosi, what Chuck Schumer, and the rest of the progressives are planning within the coordinated messaging for the Democrat machine. They want to take and increase 2 states, DC and Puerto Rico. They're going to pack the court so that every one of their policies that is going to be debated at the federal court level, they're going to get their wishes. They'll stick more Sotomayor's on, right? Because that's what the Democrats do. Once they've aligned from local to state to federal with both the judiciary and their elected officials, it's over, folks. And as Donald Trump said in his tweet, he's exactly right. Our country will no longer be recognizable. Curious what you think. What's holding up John Thune in passing the Save America Act? What's holding up the Senate in blasting through the filibuster, which is not a law, it's just precedent. But this is precedent that the Democrats have already said that they're going to dispose of once they get the control of the Senate, potentially in just 10 short months during the midterms. Let me know your thoughts. This is all in front of us. This is the fight for our republic at the moment. As Donald Trump has, I think, presciently outlined, our nation will be unrecognizable if the Democrats take control of not only Congress, but the presidency in 2028. If you've yet to see the story on the SPLC and all of the breaking news with the federal indictments, well, that's our next story. You're not going to want to miss it, because what it does in this story, I'm going to break it down for you, what they're accused of and what they're also coordinating with as far as the Democrat propaganda machine, the fake news media. All of it's right there. It's in our next story, and you're not going to want to miss it.